to wind up with a canoe in the interim. Well, the canal's going to might wind up in the volcano or the ice cave. But I can't go much further because the competition has begun. I think.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I know what's going on. We're just doing a syncing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Woo. There we go. Had me a little worried there for a second.
All right, here we go. We got an iron helmet for sale, and we got more singing. Okay, here we go. Oh, we have the exit spell. Yeah, that's a nice start. Exit and harm 4, that helps too. Heal 2 is nice as well, healing 16 to 32 hit points. Yeah, the Brax spell, that's all right. Lock's okay. Quad X isn't bad, so
it's a decent mix. I mean, I think what's going to suit them best right now, depending upon where they have to go, is that Arm 4. I mean, you don't know where the canal's going to end up. It could be anywhere on the Circle C. You hope it's over at Temple of Fiends, but even there's some undead over there. But if you end up with, like, oh, Crystal for less than $4,000, that's nice. If you end up having to go to, like, Marsh, or if Ice Play early happens, that Arm 4 is going to be nice for all the undead. Brack's also good, because Garland will go down real easy.
Yep, sounds good. And looks like Ragnarok's trying to draw an encounter. He just recently completed 8 Chaos Rampage seeds in 8 hours, which it's just insane playing Final Fantasy Randomizer for 8 hours straight. That's impressive.
Looks like the RNG table has a couple of quick back-to-back fights here, maybe even a third one in a row. That's a very loaded opening to that RNG table. Hard to burn off that many fights in a row. Gonna make it interesting once you start actually deep diving the dungeons and so forth.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say four loaded straight away. That's gonna be a lot of battles here, but there's the cabin drop by everybody, I believe, and we're gonna see our first box by wildham. It is a silver axe. That's not a bad weapon.
Not for those fighters they have. And they aren't playing the same parties, I noticed. It looks like they didn't decide to go with party draft here, where they both chose to use the same team. They have similar party members, but I noticed the difference here is that Wildham has a thief, while Ragnarok decided to air with a white mage. I think he's gone fighter rainbow for his party. Yep, that he has. So the extra white mage is kind of nice, considering some of the spells we saw early. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not the run chance from the thief plays into Wildham getting an edge or not.
Yeah, we saw in the treasure boxes 5,700 money, which is really nice. And we also saw Garland broken into pieces.
Yeah, with the loot, the ruby, the key item we saw down at the areas of Crystal. So Crystal's going to point them, I think, to probably wandering over to Latoya, since they have that ship that they can just quickly sail over to her. Get over to her, see what her key item is before even going to provoke it, because you can just do a nice circuit there. Then get the key item from the pirates, plus the spell sitting over at the level 2 shop, and plan out your route from there. And you never know, there might be a key item floating in Latoya's chest. Last time that I played, there was a loot sitting there in her, so a quick check of her treasure chests early on certainly doesn't hurt, especially when you're already encouraged to go there.
Yeah, that was one of the flags that I did not cover when I was trying to quickly introduce the flags, is that beyond the canal, there are 2 loose items that could be anywhere. So that's another consideration they're going to have to do. Now, Ragnarok did not go with what Dark Moon EX suggested. Ragnarok went straight for the pirates. Now, it does look like Wildham is going for Matoya. We see Fast for level 2. We see Lock 2 for level 2. Magic, so that's really nice. And for white magic, we will have Heal 3. Oh, that's nice.
Heal 3 and Wall, those are the good pickups. The Harm 3 is pretty much useless when Harm 4 is sitting there at level 1 shop. The one thing I will note right now is that Black Mage has a lot of good buff and debuff spells, but he's really kind of useless right now when it comes to his charges for, like, doing any kind of real attack. The White Mage and the Red Mage have more going on for them than that Black Mage does. And Matoya has the Chime. Those of you hoping for an early Sky play, mages get your wish.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I mean, because that's another one of those flags, is that we have open progression, which opens up the air tower it's like you could just sail there, and so
Yep.
oh, that would make like stuff like the floater like stuck in the tower and like, oh boy.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I would sit there going, if you only have the chime and not the cube, don't go over to Sky right now. You want to find the cube before you do it, and then go make the early Sky play. Except that in the race that I had that opened up this whole tournament with Gregley, he went to Sky as soon as he could, found the cube in there, and that proved to be the gamble of the night. So you never know with the loose where they're going to turn up, and that early chime may be pointing you directly to a Sky play.
Meanwhile, we are having a rather slow fight against the Ragnaroks, and then this is one of the disadvantages of not getting a lot of offensive magic, like direct offensive magic. It's just gonna take a while to knock him out, but it's just too much worth it.
So it is going to be interesting to see where they'd go. I know if it was me having done this, got the turn-ins down, still not having the canal that I can remember. With that key, you do the key chests there, dwarves. I think dwarves is just a necessity no matter what because of the exit. You got your Topher chest, you got your Canaria chest. Probably just get all of those cranked out. Do your elf chests. Maybe even go over and check Astos. You want to find that canal, and if the canal's not anywhere in any of those spots, you're going to be stuck going to Marsh, and no one likes going to unincentivized Marsh.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Marsh is like everybody's favorite cave who is not running.
I mean, you got the hard 4. Half the packs are going to be easy to deal with. The problem is, if there's, like, we have no good sweepers so far for the black magic, and if nothing turns up at level 3 or level 4, which is rare but can happen, what are you going to do with half the packs that are in Marsh that don't care about that alarm?
Well, let's see what Ragnarok's going to do with this wolf. Well, he's going to run.
Hey.
Meanwhile, the wildham will defeat the pirates and will acquire the chime. Now, Melee Wizard, our tracker this evening, did mention those trans wolves.
Ragnarok went up and talked to Matoya, but I completely missed what was in what she said. I didn't see the crystal. I'm wondering if he actually got the crystal yet, or maybe forgot to buy it and has to go back and get it and then go visit her again.
That actually might be a thing. You're right. Yeah, Wildham still has a lot of money, so I think that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, there wasn't that long pause. It was just a quick text box, so I entirely think Ragnarok meant to buy it, forgot, didn't, and now he's skipping past. I'm curious what's going on here.
All right, Ragnarok is gonna check out all the bonuses here in the castle here. 11,997 plus 3 grand more, so 15 grand in a house so far. A pure potion. Oh boy. Ooh, and a mage staff. There's your offense. For those of you who don't know, the mage staff casts Fire 2 to all monsters, so which is really nice, especially in the early going. Okay, Ragnarok's gonna buy 10 houses. Houses restore your HP and your MP completely. Really, really nice thing to have.
Yeah, that mage staff right there, that helps to allay some of the fears that I was having about the Marsh Cave, which is looking more and more likely if they have to go there right now. Because with that mage staff and that fire too, you're going to be able to take out a lot of those nasty enemies that we were concerned with. It's not a bad item to have.
All right, so it looks like Wildham's gonna go ahead and pick up all that cold hard cash and the mage staff, and now we're pretty much level pegging because Ragnarok now has the chime.
Yep, there is that chime that we saw earlier. So that's that early sky play that we're hoping for. Ragnarok was just a little behind on getting that, but it's not a big deal. This early in the seed, any little misstep like that is easy to make up. The question is going to be, of course, where is that canal located? What is going to open up this seed for us? Is it going to be the canal, or is it going to be the canoe, and the canal's lurking maybe over on the east side of the continent? We're still not certain yet. Those of you hoping for that early Marsh play, though, It's looking more and more likely.
Yeah, well, but first we're gonna check out the trap tiles at the Temple of Fiends. And I like this play, trying to get the mage staff if you can't run. Ooh, dazzle, that stinks. Now the only problem is the hags are strong against fire.
Yeah, what I was going to mention is the fact that because they're water-based, they don't really care that much about the fire. But, I mean, they also didn't roll that high, so it's not the end of the world here.
Well, I'll tell you what is the end of the world. They have crack. I just found that out over Ragnarok's side.
Oof. Okay, so amend what I just said right there.
Yeah, crack is also known as Earthquake for those who are Final Fantasy 1 PSP fans. We got a cabin and 225 money, and wildham wisely resets.
Whole lot of nothing right there. He looks like he's heading over to Dwarves to check out the big Dwarven treasury right there. Meanwhile, Ragnarok is going to give us our first look at the spells here. Still no sweeper. Temper's great to have, but at this point you're desperately praying for some level 3 elemental spell.
I tell you what, you're going to be all set when it comes to Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Oh, so the black mages remain 4, but the white mages get richer and richer. That's life and fade. Life is available in the 4th slot. That's going to be good for the red mages. Fade is locked out to them, but that white mage that Ragnarok has, that white mage can learn Fade. And right now, that white mage, I think, is going to be the single most important character in his party.
Yeah, it's looking that way. We see Lit 3 and Warp in the black magic for level 4, so there we finally have some sweeping magic there, but now we're going to check out some boxes. Over in Wildham's side, there's the Katana. Do we have... No, we don't have any thieves in play, so the Katana is just going to be sold for money. And we got about $5,000 otherwise, so not too much here.
Well, we do have a thief over on wildham's side. It's just a question of whether or not he's going to bother upgrading them. And when you have a Mazamoon there for the knight, yeah, it could go either way at this point.
Oh my goodness. Also the defense sword, which casts ruse to the self, which adds 80 points of evasion. That's a really nice sword.
It's an essential sword for the end game, especially with what we're seeing for magic otherwise. Your black mage is going to be able to do a lot of buffing, but we still haven't seen in Viz 2. Having that ruse right there means you cast that 3 times on your main character, and then they basically can avoid anything except a critical hit or a magic spell. Very useful to have. Wildham doing his returning of the chime again, because as chat reminds us, he was caught by Gerwolves trying to get away from Matoya and killed. The Lit 3 is nice, the Ice 2 is okay, the Bane's okay. I mean, this black magic is kind of rough right now.
Yeah, the only thing right now the black mage is doing is support, but now Wildham will get all the things over at the Elfland Castle.
He's done a few more checks that Ragnarok has than Ragnarok has. He may seem a little behind right now, but once Ragnarok has to go do the rest of those checks, if he does, it'll all balance out. The black mage is going to be super useful when it comes to fighting all the bosses in Topher, because you got those fasts and those tempers and those lock 2s, and I think they're all on like different levels. It is a glorious like end game buff pack, but what he doesn't have is anything that's going to help him right now in the early game. It's just that fade, that Lit 3 at level 4. Those are the only spells that he really has the ability to use, and he's locked out of Fade, while Ham is, because he doesn't have a white mage.
Alright, is Ragnarok going to Marsh Cave? I guess that's... Yeah, I guess that's it. That's the last thing we got checked, so here we go. Everybody's dream come true coming up.
I haven't seen him check Astos' castle, don't know if he remembered it or if I just simply missed it.
That's a good point.
Wildham is doing more of the checks. Now, I don't necessarily hate this play. He does have fades. I don't know if he has the levels to actually start casting it yet. I kind of think he doesn't with the health he's at right now. But he's actually also taking this fight. He might be able to get some. If he gets a couple fade casts, it might be worth it to go up to Astos' castle first. Just go check what's in Astos' closet. See whether or not there's a good grind tile there, because all the shuffled encounter tiles all the encounter tiles are shuffled around. There might be something useful that Fade can take out, and he can get some very quick early levels and make Marsh a cakewalk if there's no treasure worthwhile.
You see the awesome power of the Mass Immune. 3 hits for 358 damage. That came over Ragnarok's side because he elected to put the Mass Immune on the fighter. Now, wildham, he decided to put the Mass Immune on the thief. Okay, so we do have a thief in play, so he does have that katana, which is arguably the thief's strongest weapon. So
once they class change.
Yeah, once they class change. That's very true. But still very important. Got to hang on to that.
Yeah, it's the thing of I could totally see him thinking I'm gonna use this guy as a ninja because with the thief fixes on and the randomizer, the thief is way more usable. So it's the thing of maybe he just cares more about the thief and just wants to use the fighter as a meat shield. There is a meta to the game at this point that a lot of people seem to subscribe to is you don't really care as much about your fighter doing damage when your thief can actually crank out better hits. What you do is you put the best armor and the defense sword on your fighter, have them stand up front, and absorb and dodge all the hits. And then your thief sitting in like the 3rd or 4th row can go to town with his weapons and just wreck face. Unfortunately, they're gonna get wrecked by those.
Yeah, those scorpions are not very fun here. All right, let's check out the first box. 2,280 quids. So, yeah, not too much going on there. Let's try again. And this one is not much better. Actually, it's even worse. 1,400. Hey, it's not $2, so you're the last 2 boxes. Oh, the ribbon. Okay, yep. Oh, yeah, he's got to save that.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, oh, do you walk this out? Ribbon makes it so you have to walk it out, but then you're sitting there going, no, I've got a white mage. I have exit. I don't have to walk out anything. I'm good to go. Flame shield, money, house. Time to check those grind tiles. Oh, rock goals. If you're, oh, you don't have fate. That sucks.
Yeah, that's going to be advantage Ragnarok, but we'll see the other one. Muck, yeah.
That's nothing. That's not a grind tile. That's just a slap in the face right there. The rock balls, if you could take them out with some AoE, that would be brilliant. Unfortunately, wildham without that white mage is once again locked out of something that he really would like to be able to do.
Yeah, meanwhile, over Ragnarok's side, look who's hanging out. It's a dance party over in Ragnarok's side with all that trance. I feel like I'm back in the 90s here.
Get out those glow sticks. We had ourselves a Roo revolution over there.
All right, let's try this again. We have several boxes to take a look at down in the Marsh Cave. I guess the first one's already been checked?
No, he's got to move past this first room because it's a duplicate chest with another room you're going to be checking anyway. Move on over to here. Yeah, I think the linked chest is one of these two that's also right here, so there's no reason to check it twice. Ice armor is nice for that fighter. That gives him some defense.
Yeah, so that's where I'm screwing up, is I always... I get it. I always check that one chest on the right, and it's always empty. There's the canal now.
There we go. There it is. I mean, it basically had to be down here. We knew that. But yeah, no, that first chest is a link chest, so if you're doing a march dive, all you gotta do is what's, as Falconic FF put it to me when I was first learning the game, you do a Z shape, starting on the 2nd row on the very far left. You go from that corner right there, over 1, down 1, over 1. You draw the little Z there on your rooms, and those are the only rooms you have to check. Then you shoot up all the way over to the top right and hit the chest up there, and that's everything you can get in unlocked march on your first dive.
Well, there you go. Now I'm going to replay this, and I'm going to remember how to do that. But I'll tell you what, though, Ragnarok got away with a fast one there with the glow stick Roo party. 3 people got paralyzed, but Ragnarok was able to fade out.
It does look as though, ironically, the werewolves, the tougher wolves, are the easier fight to take. And note, Ragnarok decided to orphan a chest down there. He did not want to find out what was in the encounter trapped chest that was there, so he decided to dodge out, not even bothering to check to see what the encounter was, and he moved on with his life. Can't necessarily say I blame him when what he really wants to do is get out of Circle C and go see what else is there. It's not like the chest is incentivized. The likelihood of it being the loose when you already find the canal, pretty low.
Now, I didn't mention the awesomeness of the ribbon, which I believe Ragnarok did equip on the white mage. Mm-hmm. That makes that person who equips the ribbon very strong to a lot of things.
It's basically every resistance you can get is tied into that ribbon. So all those damage spells are going to do a whole lot less. The only thing that's going to get through the ribbon, basically, is any of the non-elemental spells. So like nuke and nuclear, for example. If it's non-elemental, your ribbon isn't gonna do anything against it. But everything else, you're good to go there. Plus, it adds like I think 1 point of armor, which woo.
Hey, I'm all about that 1 point of armor. I mean, armor is a lot more dramatic in Final Fantasy than it is in another game I'm very familiar with, Dragon Warrior. Dragon Warrior doesn't really do much until you damage break, but here it really trims down the attacks.
Mm-hmm. Every little bit helps. That's why, when you see it, if you don't see anything better floating around, even just buying the level 1 crappy wood armor is still worthwhile, because that's, I think, 5 points of defense that you wouldn't have otherwise. Also worth noting, something I just realized, in the level 4 Black Magic shop, we do have Warp. Again, not a damage spell, but since they do have to go to Ice Cave because it's incentivized, Warp basically lets them short-circuit the entirety of that dungeon and make it a whole lot easier to explore. Nuke at level 5, first damage spell we've seen that's really worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna finally find a damage spell, and if it's level 5, then okay, I'll be happy with that. Let's see what wildham's doing. It looks like he's going down the marsh cave. We'll see if he decides to continue to explore all those other boxes or what have you, because you don't know. One of the flags is randomized trap tiles, so it could be an amazing opportunity. We don't know yet. We're gonna find out.
I want to point out that wildham right there is set himself up to run a 3-man party. He's realized that at this point the Black Mage is pretty well useless to him. So he put the Black Mage up front so they'd get taken out, and he's now running a 3-man party with the guys that actually can do something. Your Meat Shield, the one person that has any spells worthwhile, the thief who's actually doing all the real damage. I don't want to overuse this phrase, but I think in this particular instance that does rate, for a new player such as wildham, a veteran move.
Hey, that was a nice little defeat there. This is one of the other interesting things about Final Fantasy, and you can say this about any randomizer, is that if you gotta actually fight the battles as you're going through, it's a good thing.
Yeah, you gotta take some. There are proponents that would say that, the grind tiles are the most important things. Find a good grind, get it done early once you have enough key items to make the grind worthwhile, if you're playing with key item experience bonus. At the same time, I know a lot of pro players, and I've started ascribing to this as well, the walking grind. Know what encounters are worth a decent amount of experience, start using them, and use your grind as you're going, instead of just trying to find that one key tile, because you're going to end up taking a lot of fights that you either can't run away with or might be worth using anyway. So don't waste them, use them, get your experience while you can, and then you're done with the seed that much faster.
So we had an early ruby, and we have picked up the canoe. Meanwhile, wildham is gonna go for this spike tile, and it's not terrible. 2 wizard ogres and 2 green ogres.
It's some decent midline experience. If he sticks around here and just gets maybe level 10, level 12, something like that, gets some charges of fade on his red mage, I can't say I hate this. Ragnarok, meanwhile, remembered that the princess had the ruby. Ruby unlocks 2 checks for him at this stage of the game, being able to check Sarda on the opposite side of Titan's Trove, plus Titan's Trove itself is incentivized, and along with that canoe, he has the rod. There are some, like myself, that would say you have a dungeon you can go to and a decent amount of chests right there. Maybe rod is the play to make.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not see the box there behind the ogres, but that's an opportunity if I've ever seen one. One wizard mummy and a lot of regular mummies. And yeah, and it looks like the mummies don't have a lot of HP. They have a smidge. Yeah, but that's about it.
Oh, and he has a light axe, which means it's nice, because I was sitting there going, I don't think Harm 4 was available to the red mage, but at the same time, you have a light axe and you have a mage staff, that tile is going to be easily grindable. We did have a comment in chat noting the fact that we think the white mage may be the class of the night here right now. I I don't know if you Game Boy, but I think I have to agree with that at this point. Wildham is getting a lot of solid work out of the party he has, but all the really good spells seem to be stacked up front for that white mage right now.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree. Just a lot of stuff going on here, but you know, it's still early. We got plenty of time before this gets decided. So he's definitely out by no means, but I'm thinking that he's swinging and missing with as far as these trap tiles are concerned. I just saw a cabin there for that last box.
Yeah, he still has a couple more checks to check. I think he still needs to do the far right, quote-unquote, locked incentivized, although it's not incentivized here. And then the upper right chest. He's doing a full clear here, picking up some walking levels as he goes. Hopefully he has exit that he can use as well. I don't remember what slot that one was at, so hopefully it's something that he can learn. It's a decent play what he's doing, but he is definitely getting bogged down while Ragnarok is off and running now. Despite a slow start for Rags early on, he is definitely running away with the seed right now. Getting the herb there from the sages who are not confused and not wandering. And now the question is he gonna just turn that herb in, or is he gonna go and decide, maybe I'll go hit Ice Cave while I'm here, because Ice is also incentivized, and I probably have...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could also go to Fire Volcano because there are 87,000 treasure boxes there. Meanwhile, looks like more wizard mummies and more mummies and all the good stuff over at Wildham, and we're gonna figure out what that last box is.
I do enjoy the early volcano play when it makes sense for a seed. If you're looking for money, if you're looking to get the cash together to buy a key item that you know, if you find something that's really valuable. In this particular instance, though, they already have the store-bought key item. They already had some levels generating. I think Ragnarok is about to prove me wrong here. I think, personally, I would skip Volcano and just go straight over to Ice or maybe Waterfall, as Burt Reynolds in chat was suggesting. But with the direction that Ragnarok is going, he may be doing the early Volcano play, at least the Treasury floor, just to get some levels and some treasure.
Alright, so Wildham has completed the Marsh Cave and is going to move on to his next objective. Not 100% sure where that's going to be quite yet. It looks like he's going north. He's going north to visit Astos, the Western Keep. I'm a PSP fan, but...
Yeah. He's doing what I was suggesting, what Ragnarok did earlier. He's coming over here. Oh no, he did. He's the one that did this earlier. He's coming over here to get the flame chest shield that he had, because he now has the ice armor, and so this way he has a nice little set of early level protection. Because between ice and fire, he's got two different elements protected, and that's a decent thing to have early on when enemies usually don't have that many different skills and spells to work.
Alright, it does look like Ragnarok is going down the fire volcano. Let's see what we got here. Silver Gauntlet.
I mean, it's better than an Iron Gauntlet, maybe? I think the defense is actually a little worse, but the evade is better.
What is that anyway? Oh, it's 4 defense points higher, so, and no evasion penalty, so, yeah, but it's not like a key item or anything like that. No. 3 gold, that's pretty good. Oh, Oxyale, and there was, okay, that was a good play.
So again, we're running into a position here where Ragnarok looks like he might be orphaning some chests. Nope, wait, there we go. He's proving me wrong again. Thank you, Ragnarok. I have a feeling that anytime I want him to do something, I just need to say he's going to do the opposite.
This is never a fun tile here. Images.
The Iron Mages can be difficult. They're at least not ghosts, and he does have Harm 4, so, I mean, this is an easy, quick cleanup right here.
Alright, well, that works out, and, I mean, gets 600 points, and then not a very high level right now, level 8. Wildham's around level 10, I believe.
I think he's making a beeline to see what the Earth Elemental tile might be, because it's right here up at the edge.
Yikes, that was a hard hit from the giant there to knock out one of the light warriors, but it's all okay though.
Pretty sure Red Mage doesn't have any armor right now, and he doesn't have a lot of health anyway. That is a nice tile for the early going, especially with that fire stick that he has, because those Medusas are weak to fire, and the only thing that's really going to be too scary right there is that Sabertooth.
Wow, this is so ironic. One of the Medusas just got broken to pieces.
Stone. And that's a quick level 9 right there. Those Medusas, even just the standard ones, not the Gur ones, actually worth a decent amount of experience. Ragnarok stacking on some levels going to make him a little bit better for when he decides to go do Ice or Waterfall or whatever his next play is.
All right, we see wildham going to the Titan's Trove to pick up that box and gonna move on to the cave south of there to pick up that prize, and we're just about level pegging again. It looks like Ragnarok does have a little bit of definitely has an exploration advantage for sure. And with these 4 Ps, he's probably gonna get level pegging in levels here.
Yeah, I think Wildham might be a little higher on levels just because he's been running this 3-man party and he's been taking more for his grind. But the EXPs right here are certainly going to make things a little more even for Ragnarok, because that's a quick infusion of yet another level there. Rags is probably, I'd say, about 3 or 4 minutes ahead as far as exploration is concerned, but that's going to balance out depending upon how many levels Wildham has on top of him and what his next play is. I'm looking for a little divergence here. Some divergence would really help us to define, see different things and start to get a feel for where the seed is going and how these two players are going to shake out.
All right, here we go again. Saber-toothed tigers and Medusas once again. Oh, no fade. What are we gonna do now?
As long he's got sticks, he's got fade, he's got other things. I mean, as long as he can take this pack down, this is going to be an incredible amount of experience for an early party. This is like the key party version of this grouping you want to see. Full of enemies, full of delicious experience.
Yeah, got a little unlucky there with that heal 3. It just fizzled out there for the most part, but gonna be okay. We're running out of magic, so might be heading out soon.
Yeah, I think he's gonna finish up his little checks here. Probably not gonna hit one of these tiles again, and then he's gonna move on with his life because he's gotten what he wanted out of this. Whether or not he decides to continue digging deeper into Volcano is a question. I think personally, knowing that you already have 2 of the loose key items, you just start exploring the other incentivized locations and hope that the final loose item is one of those with the boxes that you already have to check anyway. But then, I mean, I lost my first game, so maybe don't listen to me.
hey, now I am undefeated in spring tournament play. Let me tell you. Don't
0-0 right now?
Don't let anybody tell you that I haven't won either.
Everything's been a draw so far.
Yeah, well, sure, I don't have any draws either, but, you know.
So Melee is digging deeper into the volcano at this point. Gonna make the play that I didn't think was worth making right now, but again, that's why I'm not winning.
So,
Ragnarok, I should have said, yeah.
So here's the fun thing about the fire volcano. You see those bright red squares? Those are lava tiles, and the entire party is penalized 1 hit point every time they step in a fire tile. However, you don't get an encounter while that's going on, so that's the advantage, so it saves you time. Unfortunately, you're burning about 15 heal potions, and he's going to be down to 30. I do not see a lich play or a carry play. There's a feed down at the bottom of this volcano. I don't see a carry play right now.
I gotta say, I don't agree with the idea of using up all those heal pots right now. He's got plenty of heal 3s. Heal 3 is a faster heal. It's more efficient. It strikes me that instead of using up all those heal pots, just go with the heal 3 instead and get out of that this way. Just get it faster, get it done, because you might want those heal pots later, depending for carry if you decide you're going to go fight her. I gotta say, these ogres apparently are lullaby bards, because they keep putting this party to sleep.
Yeah, and every time I see a monster do something that it's not attacking, the next thing I wonder is, oh my goodness, what are they going to do next?
Oh, runs from the Red Hydra. That's actually a fight I probably would have taken just because, I mean, they're usually easy to kill, decent amount of experience, and you need something if you're going to go deal with carry.
The last time I dealt with a Red Hydra, they destroyed me, so I don't typically fight Red Hydras.
They're not so bad normally in the randomizer. Red D's
now there's something I want to fight, the Fun Police, which is a Dragon Warrior randomizer thing for the Red Dragon. Except these Red Dragons are usually friendly.
Yeah, I think the closest equivalent we probably have is an Unleashed War Mech here. But no, the Fun Police indeed. Wee wee. Silver armor's nice because you can apply that to that red mage that isn't like wearing anything right now.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Asher's over in chat. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Joining in the Fun Police fun. There's the Dragon Sword and 46,089 gold. My goodness, what'd you do with all that money?
There's some casino cash right there to play at the tables while you're here in the Final Fantasy Spring Tournament 2020. Monte Chaos Casino Night, I believe, is the name of the tournament. Thank you and welcome for joining us here tonight.
Yeah, well, look at that. Heal helmet and a heal staff. I mean, that should have been a free HP heal up right there.
It is nice having that dragon sword they picked up just a little bit earlier, because you can at least affix that to your red mage, and if he runs out of spells, they can do something else. Because resources and resource management here this deep into Volcano are gonna be key. Now we can see what this Agma tile is going to be. Is it going to be something fun? Worms! They're not bad. You can kill that with a Mazamu. Come on.
I'll gladly eat just worms if I could fly today. Oh, damage poison!
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Ignore everything I just said about them not doing damage. Commentator curse.
All right. Well, it was worth 11. It was worth 11 grand, but oh my gosh, are you going to check out that last tile?
Asher in chat calling the worms the actual Fun Police. I can't say I disagree. and Ragnarok making the right call there and avoiding having to fight them twice afterwards.
Okay, we are going to have a carry play. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense because the Mass Immune is there.
And I mean, it makes even more sense because that Black Mage is useless anyway. Just put him up front. Who cares about him?
Yeah, throw the fast down and hope he doesn't get turn order screwed, so to speak. Fade and... Okay, I like this idea. Throw the defense sword up.
It's a little more defensive than I think I would actually play it at this point. Carry could roll up to 200%, but more than likely it's going to be, I think, on average, somewhere around 100 to 120. With the fades, with the Mazamoon, with the fast cast on the fighter... I don't really think you need to worry about a single defense cast, let alone two of them. You're just giving Carry time to wipe out all of your party members. 2 hits, 2 damage to start. There's 6 hits, 340 damage. Now, Carry can have up to 1,300 HP. Oh, 6 hits, 662. Down goes Carry. 4,000 points on a spin for Ragnarok. Yeah, that Mazo, once he actually got it going with those fast hits that he had, took it out. Managed to keep the fighter alive, which is good. I mean, Carry only seemed to want a hit, and with his 3 defense casts, that was, that wasn't even a thing. I have to think he could have gotten through that faster if he just hadn't bothered with the defense cast, because, I mean, he lost 3 party members in the process, because that was 3 turns that he might have saved there. Every second counts. Yeah, and it took a while to run away from that Karib, too, so, yeah. Melee Wizard in chat letting us know that while Ragnarok was taking care of that, wildham turned in the TNT, which I actually missed where the TNT came from. But that TNT turned out to be the power bomb once you took it over to the Blasty Dwarves. Thank you,
there was an herb find. Yep, there. Yep, that's what it was.
Our wonderful tracker Melee Wizard letting us know that the herb came out and became the TNT.
Yeah, Melee is helps out a lot with this tournament. Has also helped out a lot with the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. Always great to see him tracking. That's for sure.
It's interesting that Wildham is checking this chest, because you don't actually need to check this chest. And in fact, he got an encounter that he probably didn't want to encounter right here. This chest is actually linked to the floor above, so if you're checking all the chests up there, there's absolutely no reason to check this katana chest right here.
Yeah, it's gonna cost him a few heal potions, but that's all right. Hopefully he'll watch the replay and then he'll hear us say that, and then it's on. Well, those are weak zombie Ds, and that was 2,500 experience points. Woo! So here's the fun thing about ordeals. If you've never seen this before, we randomize the pillars, so we don't know where all these are going. And there's a reason for this. It's that you can get the warp spell, because if you guess incorrectly, you can warp back and guess correctly in the end. So that's why we still randomize those pillars.
So chat making the point that Wildham may have wanted to check the trap chests or the trap tile, spike tile, whatever you want to call it, that's up in that room there. And I mean, I guess I could see the play, but I don't know. It still feels like a little bit of a time loss to me long term. Gotta go fast, guys. Save the frames.
Yeah, another thing that we keep an eye out is item management, and you always want to try to get that heal potion on the very first column if you can. I'm pretty terrible at it, but that is the aim.
These arachnids roll just enough health and magic defense to avoid all dying from that fire rod. You never like seeing that.
Yeah,
so
and at
Ragnarok
the end it
is...
was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I said at the end it was going to be $100, but I tell you what, Wildham did find 16,344 money and the black shirt, which casts ice 2. Excuse me.
What game are we playing there when it's casting iron? I don't remember that stuff.
No, I have no idea.
Fire Emblem 2. Thank you, Asher, for telling us that. Pro strats right there from Asher. Pro ring right there in that chest.
Wow, so that's so funny. You just say pro strats, and what happens? Wildham picks up a pro ring.
Mm-hmm. So Wildham is getting a little more of this exploration out of the way, fighting that bottle right now. Meanwhile, Ragnarok, who did pick up a crystal and was actually... he's in the lead as far as crystals are concerned, but also was in the lead as for exploration, is now having to go back and take care of the chest that he didn't check from Wildham, which we knew didn't have anything in them, really. So this is a little bit of a time loss. Ragnarok bleeding off some of that time that he earned early on.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, Wildham found a very horrific trap tile over at Castle Ordeals. It was 5, Gray M's. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this actually might be a good time to slant over to the west, and it looks like that's exactly what Wildham's doing, and visiting Onrak. There are 2 key items over here. This is the fun thing about this tournament, is that we randomize that one of those incentivized chests, and today it's the Sea Cave, and it's an appropriate start to this tournament because you get a whole bunch of chests in association with that.
Well, not only that, he also has the canoe, which will allow him to go and explore the waterfall. He has the canoe, doesn't he? I think they have the canoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's checked off. There we go.
I think so.
Yeah, so he has the canoe. This does allow him to check out what's up in the waterfall cave, and that's another key item check. Wildham seems to be, specifically interested in doing all of the checks that he can before he really starts dipping dungeons. So if he comes here, he can get the waterfall cave out of the way, know what he's looking for, and then go and decide to do Oxyale as his first real dungeon, because it's incentivized anyway. Oxyale, Sea Cave as his first real dungeon, because it's incentivized anyway, and it gets yet another goods check out of the way for him. Meanwhile, Ragnarok is here trying to take out these rock galls, because you know they're a good amount of experience. Asher in chat asking if the vendor item had been found. It was indeed. It was the crystal, all the way back at Canaria Castle. Or Canaria Town, I should say.
Yeah, those rock golems are quite the opportunity here with the very high experience count here. But I tell you what, though, they hit pretty hard. Here we go. Wildham is going to check out the waterfall first.
Well, actually, as Melee Wizard notes to us, and I appreciate our tracker keeping us on point all the time, because it's easy for us to get confused here with runners that go in 2 different ways, giving us the divergence I asked for. It's Ragnarok who found the Oxyale in Volcano, so the only thing Wildham can do here right now is the waterfall.
Ah, that's right. See, that's the one thing I always forget. Oh, crap. I forgot. I need the Oxyale first.
I also want to point out something interesting here. Wildham avoided walking on most of the river tiles when he was on the grass. If you switch between the grass tiles and the water tiles, land and sea, back and forth, you can't get an encounter when you walk off of one and onto the other type. So he could have maximized the number of encounters he didn't get by just smartly using those tiles. It's something you got to pick up, but it's a good move when you've actually figured out the game, is to learn and see the patterns you can take to better walk across those tiles and skip maybe getting an encounter.
Oh, there's a good opportunity. 2 wizard mummies and 2 mummies. That'll be worth some decent points.
The Wiz Mummies are a nice find. You want this pack to be a little bigger when you do it, especially if you're going to be using a bunch of AoE, but take the fight when you can. You still want the experience.
Yeah, 1,500 points. I definitely wouldn't object.
Heck yeah.
All right, we do have a spike tile here as soon as we enter the room here, and it will be...
Oh, if he had Fade, this would be a glorious tile. You can even see there was like a pause there when he was trying to decide what he can do. The problem is Wizvamps hit like trots. So if you don't have a good AoE spell that Fade to use, and his red mage is down, or what? His black mage is down, so I'm not even certain he has that nuke. That's one of those cases where, yeah, you're suffering here. Meanwhile, interestingly enough, ironically even, the Nightmares are coming out with Blizzard, and that is actually something that the Nightmares are weak to. Ice spells. He tried to use the Light Axe, which Light Axe doesn't work against anything except the undead, and he tried to use the Mage Staff, which they're just going to shrug off like it's nothing. So that was not an encounter he could take. It's hard for him on this one here. Everything he wants he can't take, and everything he can take he can't kill.
So far the triggers aren't all that great. The robot carries the slab, and that's pretty much all they wrote there. Ragnarok is now checking out the ice cave, and I believe he does have the warp there, so we're going to find out what the bonus item here is shortly.
Yeah, he's going through and he's cleaning up all the incentivized locations he can now. A little behind Wild Ham on that, but with that crystal in his pocket already, he actually has a nice little lead here. Meanwhile, hopefully Wild Ham is just here to save and remembers he doesn't have the Oxyale. There we go.
And okay, Ragnar running from the images. Oh no! Oh boy, this encounter stinks, and understandably so. Trying to throw out the harm for. Here's the drop down, and here comes the warp. We got 3 boxes. It's gonna start with the cube, so still no floater out. 11,504 money and a great axe.
No, but we know that the rod is already in their possession. The Oxyale is in their possession. Cube and Chime are already in their possession, and they have the canoe. Technically, at this point, this seed is floaterless. They don't actually have to go. He could stop right now because he's in go mode.
What type of vanilla is this with 3 frost dragons over in Ragnarok side of that trap tile, and they even have frost.
Yeah. See, I like Ragnarok's play here. He did what I tried to do yesterday and failed at. He got himself into go mode without having to check everything. And the question is, how much more is he going to check here? Does he even realize that he's in go mode at this point? Oh, wait. No, they have loot. I'm seeing loot checked off. I'm seeing key checked off. I mean, yeah, no. Does he even realize the position he's in?
That's actually bizarre. I would have never figured it out, which is why I'm not playing.
I know. That's why you gotta actually keep an eye out for this. It was what I was praying for yesterday, that a layout like this would happen, and I could just go off of a couple dumb checks and get it out of the way. He did it, and good power to him. I really hope he realizes this is what he's gotten in his hands.
Yeah, we got a Zeus Gauntlet find over in Ragnarok's side. If you've never seen this before, and by the way, welcome to our community if you haven't. The Zeus Gauntlet casts Lit 2. We see a sentry at the trap tile.
That's not bad. I don't mind that. You've got these Lit 3s, you've got Fades. The only problem is right now they seem to be able to absorb a couple spells, but even then, you've got Exit. If you know you're in go, grind this tile a few times and then bail. Just fail.
Yeah, so the sentries are a little bit higher than average. They by default 400 hit points, and they look like they had about 500 there. But Now the sorcerers in the vanilla version, they're like everybody's worst enemy. But
yeah, they're terrible.
This version, typically they're a lot better. If they just swing, they'll just hit you for 2 damage and be done with it.
Now, the one thing I will point out... Oh, don't use Bane. It's not likely enough. The one thing I will point out is more than likely why Ragnarok is continuing to check chests is I think we've only seen 1 ribbon, which I think both party members or both teams do have. Issue is, like, the rest of the gear you want to be able to get through a 200% scaled Topher. Temple of Fiends Revisited. I haven't seen a lot of really good gear. Right now they're sitting on, like, Rosamund's great, here's your endgame sword. You got defense, but you're also only sitting on fire armor and ice armor, and there's a second ribbon.
Yeah, wait, what are you doing? I'm gonna rename, I hereby rename Dark Moon EX Foreshadow EX.
So, that changes my math a little. If he can find, like, maybe a dragon or even just an opal armor or opal O or anything like that, that will, like, modify it slightly better, and, you know, then he's in a great position right here. Definitely, he looks like he's just checking all these trap piles. I really hope he remembers he has his exit so he can get out of here and then just move on with his life. But yeah, like, right now, he is in a fantastic position. However much he wants to dip more at this point, that is up to him, and then he can just bail and be done with the scene.
And I think there was a gold ring up for sale somewhere. I don't know where it was, but I do think there was a gold bracelet. I meant.
I missed it
somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got a couple pro rings. If you know where the gold O's are, you can pick up like 3 of those. Fire armor, ice shield. I mean, maybe check out how the level 1 teams are all doing, and if it seems like you're getting through them without it being a big deal, maybe just go at this point. If you realize it. And that's the question that I'm going to want to ask him when he's in the booth with us, is when did he realize he was in go mode?
So while all this is going on, wildham's right behind Ragnarok here, and we're going to see what he does with these Frost Ds right now.
Again, the lack of spells on his side is really hurting him, especially without that Black Mage, because he left that Black Mage on the ground, so even level 5 nuke, not something that he's going to have access to. And I don't expect him to ever pick that. I don't know the slots at level 5 well enough to say whether or not the Red Mage is ever going to be able to learn that if he tail changes. I mean, that's a question. Yes, find the tail, obviously, but that's a question as well. I don't know.
Oof, life 2 at level 6. That's pretty good. Yeah, Ragnarok does not need to promote, I don't think.
I mean, he'll need to promote if he finds a piece of gear that he wants, but right now he's got everything that he needs. That if he decides that Flame Shield, Ice Arm, or Flame Armor, Ice Shield is good enough, then it's good enough, and you just bail.
Yeah, well, of course, if he has to promote, then he needs both the tail and the floater, so which would defeat the purpose of floaterless. But now let's see what wildham does with this sentry here. Is he gonna continue, or is he just gonna claim the iron and be done with it? Yeah, he's just done with it.
So we got a question in chat about what their parties are. Yeah, Ragnarok is playing with a fighter rainbow right now, and as others in chat have noted, the White Mage is the MVP of the seed right now with all these spells that she has access to. The Black Mage has a lot of great buffs for Topher, but doesn't have a whole lot else right there. Meanwhile, Wildham has a Fighter Thief, Red Mage, Black Mage, and is hurting from that lack of a White Mage.
All right, Ragnarok now going down to the to Onrak and the waterfall and all that good stuff. Does a no fair reset right there, getting a battle straight away there. Oh yeah, definitely run away from those wyverns. So the Dragon Brothers are just nasty today.
Yeah. So for those looking for a recap right now, we will hold off and do one at the top of the hour right there, because I hear another match is going to be ending soon. But it is worth noting right now that we know that Ragnarok is in go mode. Whether or not Ragnarok knows is the question right now, but we know he is. and I think we'll find out pretty soon once we know what path he decides to take in Mermaids. If he goes to what path he takes in Sea Shrine. And I think we're getting our answer. He's skipping Mermaids for now. If he doesn't go back there after taking out Kraken, then very much indeed, he is in go mode, he knows it, and he's on his path. He might still check some of the green go chests, but we'll know pretty soon whether or not he cares anymore.
I tell you what, though, we're gonna happy white mage and Demery. Those lobsters are hitting hard. Whoa! 3 hits, 150 damage.
Even the I want to say Black Knight, the knight or fighter right there with his decent armor was still getting walloped pretty good by those.
All right, let's see what Wildham's doing. Oh dear, Wildham's got the glow stick party going on here. There we go. Oh, turning in the crystal. Oh yeah, turning in the crystal for the chime. All right, that part's taken care of. Oh my goodness.
Third time he's had to turn that in because he keeps getting stoppered by wolves. And he's not save scumming out of it to be able to save them. Now, it'll be interesting to see if he takes the time and goes straight up, because he's not that far, honestly, from the dock to the Mirage Tower. And yeah, looks like he's making the early Mirage play. There could be the... There could... Are you not? There you go. Okay, so it's over here. I always forget where that dock is exactly. It's an interesting play. It's a spicy play. I don't hate this play, even though he doesn't... I mean, he does have cube. He can go and he can explore this whole thing. We just know that the go mode he's looking for is in Volcano, which he was actually nearby recently, and not in here.
Yep, and he is indeed going for boxes, while Ragnarok is heading toward Kraken, and he is skipping boxes.
Yeah, see, he knows where he's at. If he has a green go chest that gives him opal and a tail, maybe he'll be happy. He can find the opal O, just throw that on his knight. That's going to be better than what he has right now with the ribbon. I don't think he needs to worry too much about it with the pro rings and the ribbons and the armor he has. He's good. He should just do this. Looks like he's preparing for some Bracken Bane strats as well. Try and get the Kraken to die fairly quickly. I like that play. I don't like using the mage staff against the lobsters, but if you don't have anything better to do, maybe that's fine. I mean, he should have lit 3.
So I saw a pro cape and the bonus over there in Mirage Tower, but I don't think I saw much else.
Not on the first floor. He still has plenty more to do. There's another 4 floors of treasure he could check for if he decides to do it.
Oh, that was a nice little wipe out of the lobsters there for 1,500 points. Oh, now there's a fight you want. Gray sharks and a big eye.
Pretty sure that Triton and Edgeworth both refer to this as the EXP Pinata battle, because it is just worth so much.
Oh, and those big eyes don't have a lot of HP. 2,500 points. I'd take that.
Mm-hmm. That is a good fight to find. If you can find on a grind pal, that'd be fantastic, but...
And quite frankly, these waters aren't that bad either, experience-wise, but woo, they hit hard. And here we go with yet another. Yeah, another one of those. My goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. So we have, this is our 6th race of the tournament so far, and we still have another, let's see, 157, a lot of races left.
This is a very packed week here in the first week of our spring tournament. It's going to be really interesting to see how all of this shakes out.
Yep, gonna check out more boxes right here, and while Ragnarok checks out some more lobsters. Ooh, 164 damage, my word.
So still not a whole lot besides some junk weapons and some money over here on the greater than less than room for wildham. And he's continuing northwards, gonna go use that cube, find out what the spike tile is up here on the 3rd floor of Mirage, and then go treasure hunting up in the Sky Palace.
Meanwhile, here we go, it's Kraken time. And we're gonna start it off with, oh yeah, here we go, Brackstrats, you called it.
Yep. Well, when you're here and your levels are low, and you have access to Bane Sword and some Brax, this is the best play you can make. And that Black Mage did his job. He took one for the team.
Whew, 6 hits for 602 damage. That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, defense casts are coming out for the knight here to add a whole lot of evasion. 7 hits for 509 damage. Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, he saw how much damage that Kraken was swinging for, and he's like, nope, I'm having none of that. He got his fast cast off, he got 3 defenses. He's going overwhelming force at this point, because otherwise that Kraken is just going to kill him. And 1 hit for 914 damage is all he needed right there. That Kraken is dead.
Yeah, and then he immediately got lobsters and was able to run away very quickly, so very fortunate there. And now all he has to do is revive and make things official, and by hitting that save button.
The unfortunate thing for wildham right now is that Ragnarok has a clear advantage. Wildham is still searching around trying to figure out where his go mode is, not knowing that Oxiel's sitting there in Volcano. Meanwhile, Rags already has figured out he's in go. He's gonna probably high five Wildham as he goes past the Sky Palace, not having to check any of these chests. He has a easy 2-0 orb lead, and he's gonna just run away with it.
Yeah, it is not looking good for Wildham, but there's still the Great Equalizer and the Temple of Fiends revisited. But I'll tell you what, though, Wildham is finding a pretty cool battle with 4 Manticores.
Should be some good experience for him, which he desperately needs right now. What Wildham needs, not only is to go to Volcano, obviously, but he also needs to find a, like, what he needs is that Ragnarok gets into Topher and just does not have the gear to be able to survive the hits that are thrown at him. He needs a particularly nasty Topher that Ragnarok just cannot survive. Anything short of that, and this is Ragnarok's race to lose already.
Oh, now there's a good find, the Dragon Armor, if you get the tail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a big if for him. He needs that tail, and he needs it soon. Meanwhile, Ragnarok gets a fantastic battle with these regular vampires that he's taking, because that's an experience you just don't want to pass up. Should be something on the order, if I'm not mistaken, of like 2,400 experience. It's gonna be very nice, and they're very weak too. Yeah, 2,100. Not bad.
Oh no! You were off by 300 points, and you went over. You automatically lose.
Price is Right rules.
Hey, there was some green Medusa kills. That was pretty good over Wildham's side, but I tell you what though, Ragnarok's just bolting up here, and
yes.
Ooh, wow, what a trap tile that is! My goodness, I'd fight that.
As my wife likes to put it, Ragnarok is doing his zoomies right now.
And now I no longer want to fight that because it's
no, that's wretched. Trance revolution right there. Whew. Oh no!
Wow. Oh, and fast on top of that. My goodness. Yeah, get your...
Yeah, he needs to hope.
Oh yeah, he's
don't
clear.
Follow up trance with
he's
trance.
Clear.
There you go. That does it. And some good experience now.
Yeah, 4,000 experience. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, Ragnarok knows where some good grind tiles are. He may, before he comes back or goes into Topher after this, he still has Earth Cave, obviously. But before he decides to go into Topher after this, he may pop back over to Astos' Closet and go defeat some more of those rock galls, maybe even do like a 1 or a 2-man grind on there. Because at 19-ish, probably going to be, I'd say, on the order of like 21, 22 by the time he's done with Earth Cave and this one here. He's gonna need some levels probably, especially with only having the fire armor and the ice shield. So it's a question of how much he wants to grind, if he wants to. If he plays it bold and decides that he just wants to Topher and go because he's got to think Wildham is right on his tail, which we know isn't the case. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Ragnarok's next move is. Meanwhile, Wildham found the Opal Shield, so if he gets tail, really nice build out.
Yeah, well, so not only does Ragnarok have the exploration lead, he now has the experience lead with 4 characters. So, oh boy, it's starting to not look good for Wildham.
No, again, he desperately needs a really terrible Topher. I noticed that chat right now is singing your praises, Game Boy. They apparently love your commentary.
I don't know what I did. Hey, there's a gray Naga there. That's some nice experience. 2,000 points. I do love fighting gray Nagas, that's for sure. Also, another monster I like fighting is the nachos.
Delicious. Bel Grande right there. So tasty.
You know, I haven't had Doritos in a long time. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Would that be our Nachos Locos monster pack right there?
Sure.
A little bit cheesy queso right on there. I feel that. Oh, the eye. There's another good one right there.
Yeah, I mean the air cave, like as coined by Buffalax, is full of really good monsters. Although the air elementals are not one of them.
Ooh, and sometimes this Sorcerer Rock Golf pack can be a little annoying too, especially if they ambush you like it looks like they did here. One thing I want to point out with Wildham, which is something that anyone that's new to the randomizer and is interested in playing it, and we do encourage you while Ragnarok goes off to fight Tiamat, Wildham is not using the tiles in front of the or the tiles that are connected to the doors when he enters into rooms. If you wander along the wall that has a door in it, you can't get encounters. So instead of walking vertically to check a chest that's one tile up from you, walk horizontally underneath it to check it, and then you're going to get less encounters from it. Now, he may want the encounter so he can get more experience, but I've noticed a tendency to not use those, and that's forcing him to fight more tiles than he may actually use.
Alright, so we have the fight against Tiamat and broken into pieces.
You know, I tried to stop talking so you could commentate it, and then immediately bragged, and I feel bad about that.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. Very, very disappointed. No. Anyway, the last item is claimed, and oh geez, is he trying to incite a war mech here?
Well, he knows he needs levels. That is exactly what he knows he needs. This is a good pack, very good experience off the 4R Hydras, and so far they don't seem to have much of anything to be worried about. But yeah, if he takes a war mech right here, that could be all the experience he needs to finish this out. It's a bold play, don't get me wrong, but if he feels like he's behind, he may feel like this is the only play he needs to do.
What do we have over here? A heal potion over in Wyndham's side. So 2,000 experience there, running from the airs.
Yeah, doesn't care about that. No. I can't disagree with that. Airs can hit hard, and they're just not worth the experience it takes.
Yeah, Mike. Oh wow, the waters give more experience than the airs. Who knew? Not me, obviously.
Now this right here with the Gur Naga on top of it, that's a pack that's worth taking. But yeah, the air on its own, when he only got a single one, I might have had the fighter just swing his sword once, just in case he wasn't able to run from it, so that way you can try and annihilate it a little quicker. But no, this is a good experience, yeah. And he's decided.
Yep, now we're good.
His levels are good. Yeah. He tried to bless RNG for us. He was not able to. But he is going to give us a nice steak and wings play.
So we have a little joke here. I think this started from Edgeworth, where the Tyrannosaurus, also known as the Allosaurus over in the PSP world, I guess they have like tiny arms or something like that. I don't know why they do it, but now we have people that are like Team Tyro, where they always run from Tyros, and Team Steak, who always kill the Tyros for decent experience. And in this case, Team Steak won.
So we had Asher in chat asking if he actually collected the orb. He did. He didn't exit out. He walked across the tile to get the little flash of white light, and that unlocked the orb. So he should be good. He's now just going to need his earth tile. But I think he's coming in here. This might be where the gold O's were. He might be buying his endgame armor for his mages. Yep, there it is. Pro rings and gold O's, and he's got plenty of money right now. He can buy a set of 3 or 4 of all of these, depending upon what he needs.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just checking when that Cheesinator collab race was, and it is Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock on a channel somewhere.
Sometime on one of these places that does these things. Chad is reminding us of a couple of important things. Wildham did find the third ribbon. Wildham also found the Vorpal. That's a couple of really nice bits of gear. If he gets that tail, he's going to be able to make a really fully kitted party. But that's a big if for someone that has yet to light his first ore.
Yeah, right now it's looking like Wildham's down by about 20 minutes, and I'm probably being conservative here.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I don't want to rule him out. A terrible Topher could make all the difference right here. One good gatekeeper and we could be here for another hour, but it's not looking good, I think is the way we need to put it.
Yeah, fair enough. But here we go. Ragnarok sailing off toward the Earth Island, the Melman. Well, no, it's not an element. It's not an island. It's more like a peninsula or something like that. But anyway, I ramble. He's running away from a shark.
So Wildham coming in here for his first fight against a fiend. Gameboy, do you want to take this away for him?
Oh, yeah, sure. So here we go. Invis to add 40 evasion to the fighter. Defense for another 80, so already at 120. Thief swings 4 hits for 58 damage. That's not too good. All right, let's throw the fast down and see what happens now. Hey, there's a miss. There we go. That sounds good. 4 hits for 4 damage. Wow. There we go. 8 hits for 223. So... and not looking good for Tiamat right now. I like the idea of throwing that temper down to make that fighter a little bit stronger. I believe it's 10 power. Oh, the powers gauntlet's there. I never mentioned what the power gauntlet does. That adds power, and not only that, it increases your hit rate. I don't think Tiamat's going to last much longer. 8 hits, 625. Good night.
Yeah, a little slower than the Brack strats that Ragnarok employed, but it does get him on the board, and now the lead is back down to just 2 crystals. Good for Wildham as he gets on the board finally at 1 hour and 11 minutes. Now,
yeah, that's typically when I get my first orb, so I totally get it. Oh, is it gonna be Team Stake 2? Oh yeah, Team Stake 2. Team Stake 2, Team Tyro 0.
The Tyros have like no health to them, and he's got a good amount of levels right now at this point for his 3-party. So we did have a request a little while ago to do a recap. Now that we're nearing into the end and people are curious about where things are, I believe the Rod and the Chime were both early on in the game, up in and around the Circle C. Oxiel was over at the volcano, and once you got the canoe from, I believe, Astos, because the crowd was early as well, then you had everything you needed to basically go in go mode within, like, I think Ragnarok did it in 45 minutes. He made all the right plays and got where he's going, and Wildham is still trying to figure out where to go to get his go mode. If he heads up to Volcano, he'll have it eventually, but he might be kicking himself that he didn't do this check earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Ragnarok's already at the 3rd floor of the Earth Cave, and it's not going to take long. It's going to take about 5 minutes, and then it's time to tackle the cave Chaos Shrine in the past.
Melee Wizard, our fabulous tracker, is letting me know that the canoe was loose in Marsh. They just went to Astos' closet for the heck of it.
Yeah, we haven't found the crown. We haven't found the floater. I guess it's everybody's guess. It might be at the bottom of Sherlock Castle, for all we know.
We gotta get the rainbow drop first before they're gonna be able to access that one, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're on your own.
Hey, Devs, when are we gonna get the Dragon Warrior Final Fantasy Randomizer combo rando? Come on, we're looking for it right now.
Yeah, somebody else is gonna do that one. Oh, Melee Wizard has just voted Judge's Table, which is the vanilla location of Erdrick's sword. Oh boy, we're getting too off topic here. Ragnarok's in the 4th floor and it's about to reach the 5th. Oh, no such thing?
He's running through Earth Cave. I don't think there's really much more to commentate right now until he actually does something interesting. Earth Cave is Earth Cave. It's a fast dungeon. He's not checking any chests. He doesn't care. He's looking to get through the speed bump and move on with his life.
Well, here we go. Oh, no, we're going to run into a couple mummies here before we continue. And now we're going to run into an Earth.
Yeah, he's just a few steps away from Lich, and then as long as he'd stop getting ambushed, he'd be able to go and do this fight and see how bad Topher is. And wildham is...
there it is. Wildham's in the area. There's the Oxyale, and yeah, I'm probably going to see some table flipping coming up here. Here's the Lich fight for Ragnarok. Well, so there's this Lich, just sitting there looking cool and everything, you know, just hanging out, just casting a little ink, just making everything dark and everything, and now he's leaving.
Oh, wow! Say hi, Lich, say bye to Lich. 2 buffs and a swing, and Lich went down for, I'm pretty sure, like, triple the amount of health he's allowed to have in the vanilla.
I saw a 1014. I'll get my cheat sheet and I'll tell you.
That was a ridiculous amount of damage for a Lich right there. That puff of smoke.
Actually, Lich 1 maxes out at 920, so he did exceed the max there.
Yeah, don't breathe in too deep. You're gonna get zombie in your lungs. And Rag is going where I thought he might. He is heading over to Astos' closet, and he is going to go probably grind on some rock galls. Curious to see how many of his party members he keeps alive for this, but he apparently wants just a little more before he decides to wander into Topher.
Yeah, he's had a very good run so far, so I totally can understand getting a little insurance experience. It's definitely a great play.
Well, especially since you don't have the gear. What you're worried about right now more than anything is having the health to survive a couple of nasty hits.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing. Unlike Dragon Warrior, if you totally perish, you have to go back from the beginning and you lose all the points you scored. So yeah, this is a very important grind here.
Yeah, it's key differences between 2 of the seminal RPGs of the NES era. This one, you get penalized severely if you get bounced out of a dungeon, whereas with Dragon Warrior, not so much. Being bounced out of a dungeon is just part of the experience.
Alright, here's the Carry fight over in Wildham's side, and 10 hits for 609, and Carry's, did indeed have close to maximum health right there, and there's the victory. There's 1,500 points. There's the second orb. So, while he figures out his next move, I will tell you of our 3 races that are happening tomorrow. Somewhere, we don't know exactly where. We have Black Knight 39 and Shofuko Machi. Shofuko Machi's been around for a long time, and that competition will be at 6 o'clock Eastern, either on Randomania or Speed Gaming. I have no idea.
Somewhere. It'll be on Twitch. It'll be on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. We have JLo7 and the Hangry Canuck. This is about as old school of a match as you can get. This is at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. And then Lord Fizzlebeef and Devio XX. Oh, that's going to be a tough fight for Devio. 8:30 p.m. On Twitch somewhere.
I mean, you say it's going to be a hard fight, but I gotta tell you, if you don't expect to actually make it into the brackets like I didn't when I signed up for this tournament, sometimes it's nice to get one of the really nasty ones out of the way early, so you can get into the 0-1 club and be like, okay, now I can just relax and not stress so much about the rest of my tournament.
Well, except Lord Fizzlebeef is our restreamer, so we have to say nice things, you know?
I don't. I will, but I don't have to. I can say whatever I want.
He's also an admin. Come on.
I scoff. Scoff. So it looks like Ragnarok is done with his grinding right now. I think he got into the upper 20s, 26, 27. So he should be 24 for some of his characters. So he should be okay at this point for a Topher. It was at the point right there where the raw calls were starting to not be worth it because you weren't getting like a level every fight. I can't blame him for stopping right there. I think he did exactly what he needed to do. He should be ready to go right now. Meanwhile, Wild Ham being down up 2 crystals, still 2 crystals behind by up 2 crystals. He has put the pedal to the metal and he is heading into Kraken's dungeon right now. 1 or 2 Topher wipes, and this could be all tied up.
All right, yep, definitely like what Ragnarok's doing there. What, did he drop the Mass Immune?
Rags? If he feels like the Vorpal's more important to him, he might have. Plus, you know, it's a fun disrespect meme.
Oh, I see. I didn't see that he equipped the Vorpal. So why do people really enjoy the Vorpal? So the Vorpal has significantly less strength and significantly less hit rate than the Mass Immune or the Excalibur. But the big thing is that 30% critical hit rate, which is much higher than the Mass Immune or Excalibur. I think they're like 5 or 10. So that's why a lot of people enjoy that doing that Vorpal.
So it's worth pointing out that I don't think Ragnarok and Melee Wizard, our tracker, doesn't think so either, has the Vorpal. I'm not certain what he was doing in his armor or his weapon screen right there, but it's Wildham who found it because it was over in Sky Palace. The Vorpal is very useful. It because of the critical hit rate, even if it doesn't do as much damage, critical hits have the ability to go through any amount of, I think it's not just absorb, but also any amount of evade. So if you have a particularly fast, particularly veiny boss that you can't bring down with Lock and Lock 2, then the Vorpal is your best bet because you just keep swinging and praying for those critical hits to go through, and when they go through, they're going to do some decent damage. Mazamu's great, but if you can't hit with it, it's not doing anything.
Frosty D's easily run away from. Ragnarok's doing very well so far in the Temple of Fiends Revisited, but we still got a long way to go.
Wildham got that crown from the mermaid side, and then exited out and is now taking care of the other side of it. I don't think we ever saw Ragnarok actually turn that crown in. No, he didn't, because he didn't go to mermaid side. So we still don't know what it's actually going to turn into, nor do we really care. It's a little surprising with him being in go mode that no, it's not surprising that Wildham went to check that crown. He wants that tail.
Yeah, that's a good point. And here's, you know what? I never knew that you could have 2 Sorias in the Earth section of the Temple of Fiends Revisited. And now I'm just seeing them all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were a tile there, but that might be because the RNG table for a little while here in the randomizer was broken, and a lot of the round 8 fights weren't showing up. Just something happened with the way that the numbers were rolling, and the 8 fights, the encounter 8, thank you. They were missing, so you wouldn't get them. So this whole time that we've been fighting here on Earth for like a couple years now, I think we were just missing the encounter 8s, and the Sarias couldn't show up. Now, however, we know they actually exist.
Yeah, I see. But I do have to issue a slight correction. There actually are 9 encounters on this floor. See, this is something we don't mention very often here, is that the encounter rate slowly rises as you go deeper into the Temple of Fiends. Right now, it's 9 encounters every 2, 5, 6. In the next floor, it's going to be 10. And then the floor after that, it's 11. And then finally at Tiamat's 12, Tiamat's 12. Yeah, that's right. 12. You got it. You figured it out.
It is. It's the Steven Soderbergh movie with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Tiamat's 12. Totally.
Sure.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know what? I've been talking about this, and Lich was very quickly dismissed. I wasn't even paying attention. Well, Carrie was dismissed just as quickly. 350 HP. My good gravy.
You don't respect Lich, and half the time you don't have to respect Carrie. I don't hate that play from him at all, just not even bothering to worry about her, because worst that happens is she bounces you, and you're not even that far into the dungeon yet. Now, I think he might want to show a little respect to Kraken based on his armor, but we'll see. I do want to appreciate what you explained there with the number of encounters that you can get on these floors, because I did not realize they actually escalated. I've been playing this for a year and watching for another 2 on top of that, and that was not a fact that was ever mentioned to me. You are a font of information.
Yeah, it was something I was looking at when I was hoping we could like randomize the encounter, because that's one of the things one could theoretically do. It hasn't been programmed yet, but it is something you could theoretically do. You could randomize the encounter rates on every single floor, on every single dungeon.
So meanwhile, we have Kraken 2 right now that he's currently trying to defeat. Ragnarok is getting his buffs out, getting his spells out. Ooh, oh! You better hope that red mage has a life spell on him, because otherwise you're 1 to 2 manning this. Because Kraken decided to take out the white mage. Back rode her, and that's all she wrote for her right there. Woo!
Well, I was going to say nuclear is probably a good thing to run into, but there it is, 9 hits, 731, and we are down to 1 player.
Yeah, he has no life spells, but he does have power bonk, and he has defense. This is man mode time right here. Hope that Tiamat isn't too bad. Hope that Chaos can't hit and is just gonna do like simple spells and ink and so forth, and then just pray. Oh,
yeah. What? That's all right. There is the power gauntlet, but you gotta hurry it up.
All right. Yeah, you gotta buff a couple times and you've gotta pray.
Yeah, he's gonna need it at least 3 or 4 times. Ink. Oh, that's a nice thing to run into. Nuclearism, but only 80 damage.
That's not.
5. Oh,
there.
Okay. Tiamat had low HP. Wow.
Glass Cannon Tiamat. Good spells, good damage, but not a lot of anything else. That's what Ragnarok wanted. That's not necessarily what wildham wanted.
All right, here we go. Final floor of Chaos. Chaos in this tournament has anywhere between...
Oh, he's doing the victory lap. He's doing the slow victory lap.
Oh, be careful. Yeah. Chaos has anywhere between 870 and 4,600 HP. He's definitely hoping that it's the 870 version.
So he got 2 defenses out, and then, meanwhile, Chaos did a lit and a tornado plus an ink. So Chaos can't hit him, only did about 40 or so damage between all those. Crack comes out, does nothing right there. He's continuing to put that nuclear. That hurts. He needs to make sure he gets Chaos down before Chaos comes out with anything else that bad, because even chip damage is hurting him right now. Swinging it out, 3 hits, 537 damage. Needs to bring this out to the end. 1 hit for 170, not what he wants.
Oh, here we go. Maybe a Chaos, maybe an RNG loop.
376 damage from 1 hit. That is all it took. Ragnarok has finished this at 1 hour, 26 minutes, 40 seconds. GG to Ragnarok. Well done. And actually, I think I heard a ding right there, so Ragnarok may even be in the room.
Yeah, that's a really good time for these flags. Let me tell you. Wow.
Crazy. Ragnarok. Oh my god, Ragnarok the plays. That was brilliant.
Big brain in that one.
So, I think you kind of answered this with the routing you took eventually, but when you got, when you were in go mode at about, I think, 47 minutes, did you realize it immediately, or did it take a little bit for it to sink in?
No, I knew. I already had the tracker going and knew exactly where I was going to go. Stopped opening chests and just went.
Yeah, that was impressive.
So you are definitely ahead by like an orb or something like that. So a very impressive victory for you to start off your tournament here.
I'm really shocked the way the items fell. It was crazy, and didn't even get the floater.
No, you did the right plays. I was actually congratulating you on air while we were doing this about the fact that you made all the right plays, made the right gambles, and you did what the seed is basically set up to do, where everything should set up where you can just go into go mode early, because there's a lot of loose that you just don't need to worry about. I think the biggest gamble of the night, though, might have been the fact that you didn't get the tail and didn't care.
Yeah, I figure, because I've run these seeds before and done them without the tail, I figure with 1 life and life 2, if I can keep my white mage alive, I'll be good to go. I just wanted to do that quick grind to 24, 25, and then go into Topher.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have wildham just going down the Earth Cave as we speak. Probably going to finish that off in about 3 minutes. Oh, and everyone say hi to 8-Ball.
And this will put him in his final leg where all he has to do is go to Topher. So Ragnarok, that Topher for you. I mean, early on it seemed like it wasn't going to be a big deal, and then you bumped up to Kraken 2.
Kraken 2, he's the gatekeeper. Just wrecked me.
Yeah, how clenched up were you after he took out everyone but your fighter?
I'm pretty sure I absorbed the whole couch.
Like Tiamat came out with the nuclear, and I'm sure that probably gave you pause. And then Chaos had nuclear as well. And at that last battle, you were sitting at what, like 130 for those last few rounds. Like, where were you in your headspace for those 2 battles?
Well, I saw that I was getting 0 hits, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't even have anybody with lock. I'm just gonna have to just press A and pray, because I saw the nuclear come out. I could not take another one. Plus, I got hit with what, 300 and change with the tornado.
Was it that much?
I could not wait for that one to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, we see wildham dismissing the Lich quite quickly there for 1,300 points on another lit orb. Yeah, so, yeah, let's see. What other interesting things happened there? You know what? I just never realized that you could finish something without a floater.
Well, you can't in the vanilla game. It's impossible because of where the slab is at. But because of the docks that are added there for the Mirage and the way that these particular flag sets are set up, floaterless is a strong possibility.
Yeah, I thought about maybe going to Ordeals real fast and see if the floater was there, but I just decided not, just to go against it and go get my grind up. Tried to do my routing to grab my armor as soon as I got out of Sky, go grab my armor, get my pro rings, and then as soon as I get to where Earth is, grab nuke, go.
Yeah, that's something that Chad is pointing out, and I want to emphasize. wildham is going to probably finish this if he has a Topher anywhere like you did. He's going to finish this probably in like the 140 range on this if this dive works out, and that is still a fantastic time. I think if you hadn't flown through the seed, that would be like a really competitive, maybe win kind of time. It's just that you made that early play to cube and just wrecked face on this hole.
And I know I messed up a little bit going to Matoya first, because I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I had bought the crystal out of Corneria, and I was like, that's why I checked it. So I didn't go buy it.
Yeah.
So that was a whoopsie.
A bit of an oopsie, but it happens. No, yeah, GG's to you, sir. That was an amazing run, start to finish. You booked it through that whole thing. I'm sure there's like fire tracks on where your feet hit as you were burning through Topher there.
Yeah, that 126. That's a really good time. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a faster time than that with in this tournament 5. Maybe you can go under 80 minutes. I have no idea.
What was C incentive? I didn't even go.
Crown.
Oh yeah, it was the crown.
I wonder if that's the floater.
Well, I guess you never know. I mean, we guessed the floater was in Sherlock Castle, but
Yeah, we know where all the loose were at this point, so it's a question of we don't know what Slab turned into, and the turn in there. I think, in all honesty, the more than likely, one way or another, it had to lead to the floater because there basically wasn't anything else for it to become.
So Melee Wizard, our tracker, is saying that the crown turned into the opal bracelet.
Oh, okay.
Did it? Okay. Well, dang, I don't even know what the rest of, like, what else we were missing then at that point. Whew.
Let's see, the Thor hammer, and I think that's.
So how did you get the? Where could the floater be?
Did I find both loose? I'm not even sure if I found both.
You found the Oxyel, but I don't know where the second loose was.
Maybe the floater was
Maybe
loose.
it's loose. Maybe it's loose. It would have to be loose in Earth, because that's the only one you and Wildham didn't check, because he flew through it just like you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense, because we don't know what the bottle turns into, we don't know what the slab turns into, because those are floater locked. So yeah, it has to. I would think more than likely floater was probably the last loose. Not that you guys needed it.
I know I was kind of goofing off, but see the massive drop? That was my mic drop.
That was funny. What sword did you actually finish the game with?
The massive mune.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did a save. I did my last save, dropped it, and then reset.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, chat was commenting on it, but I think I was focused on Wildham at the time, so I missed the whole meme maneuver. You did meme a fair bit, though. Did you feel like you were in the lead, or was that just because you just had to?
Oh, I was just goofing off. My nerves were going pretty good, so I was just like, I got to do something to get myself more relaxed. So
shake it off a little.
Yeah, do something that's gonna make myself laugh. Drop the mic mask. I had to drop that katana off it. What's his name?
Well, it wasn't like you were going to use it.
Oh no.
No. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing for not finding the floater there. And I'm sure Game Boy would agree with me, is the fact that Wildham had the thief, but he couldn't use the katana because you guys never had a chance to even find or use the tail.
Yeah. The other thing was, I was trying to find a war mech because I knew I was really low on levels. Gave that a shot.
All right, before we keep going here, Wildham's going to try the Kraken here, and already the thief is down. So the fast has come out, and what's he going to do next? He's going to throw a nuke down and throw the sword down. 192 damage, 7 hits, 665. Oh, he's gone. Oh, that wasn't hard.
Yeah, these things were pretty paper, except for Chaos. He's beefy, he had some HP, and hard to hit.
I will not deny that right then I clenched a little, because I'm just like, oh god, he's not defensing a second time. If that Kraken comes out swinging, someone's dying.
Ooh, this stinks. Mandatory 5 vampires and a vampire wizard. But I believe the vampires were just made of paper, so might as well take the free points.
They are going to tell you about the Stephanie Meyer series. There is absolutely nothing you can do about it, okay?
Whatever you say.
I'm actually kind of sad that I know that author's name. Gross.
All right, Tiamat time. Defense sword, fast time.
This is not a bad play here. He really wants to hope that his red mage doesn't get back road, which his red mage gets back road.
Well, one good thing is Tiamat didn't hit.
No. Didn't hit for much and didn't have any health, so a couple defense casts and having his fighter up front, and that was that. Game Boy, we are going to see our second Chaos fight. You want to take this one?
Sure, why not? Well, but first we're going to do some ordering. We're going to do probably some healing. There we go. Yeah, now the heal being in the third column, it takes quite a bit longer to do the healing. So we've talked about this earlier, but anyway, we're going to have that chat about Garland, Chaos, 2,000 years, yeah, whatever. So here we go, fast on the fighter with the defense sword. Very good first play there. But Joe gets hit for 151 damage. Not too much there. But just going to get a second defense stack going. Get that temper going. Get things moving. All right, we're gonna do another temper here. Liking this, and down goes Joe. Just got the slain there. Here's one swing, 713 damage with 4 hits. Woo-hoo-hoo. And we're gonna go again. 5 hits, 1019. We're done. Have a nice day. 1 hour, 38 minutes, 47 seconds.
Yeah,
Nice. GG.
GG's. Chaos didn't have much of a chance, and that shows a key difference, I think, Ragnarok, between your fight and his, is the fact that because he had the second character, not only to absorb hits, but also to do buffing, his fight went silky smooth there.
Yeah, that was nice. Good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I thought wildham was behind like 20 minutes, and he only finished 12 minutes behind. So it's still a very good run for wildham.
So we're going to see if Wildham wants to come in for an interview, and we can discuss this. But yeah, 138.47, that is a hugely respectable time. Even though he didn't win this race, I don't think Wildham has anything to be sad about with that particular time right there. That was a fantastic time for this tournament.
That's a really good time.
So, Rags, did you have any other thoughts on the seed while we were waiting for Wildham to show up?
Not really. It's really easy seed. Didn't see much of anything, so it went pretty fast. The magic, pretty scarce.
It's kind of garbage at the early rounds. I mean, the white mage got a lot to do, but the black mage didn't have much of anything.
I would have loved to have had that floater and tail so I could get a second life, but
okay, so Wildham has decided not to come into voice chat, but I want to make sure we get another round of GGs for him, because that was really great.
Indeed, definitely a very good game, but I guess it is going to do it for us tonight. So,
Well, do we any other final thoughts from you, Game Boy? Anything else that we want to share before we start wrapping up?
no, I don't think so. I mean, just this is the end of the racing for tonight, but we got 3 more races tomorrow and another 6,007 trillion races coming up here. A little
for the
over the next
weeks
6,
or so.
9. I don't know. The tournament's never going to end.
Never ending. Well, I want to say it's been a real treat to be in the booth with you, Game Boy. This has been a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, this is really good. I really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed a pretty good race. And I learned something today. So if you learn something, every day. You've got a good day. That's how I see it.
Well, I want to thank the runners, wildham0 and ragnarok784. Make sure you guys give them a follow. Of course, follow everyone else involved in making this great thing happen. I mean, you follow me if you want, Darkwood Firelight on Twitch, Gameboy F9, Lord Fizzlebeef, and of course Melee Wizard, our fabulous tracker, who helped to keep us all on point with all the notes. I think he did more to make this thing work than the two of us did, because we're just goofing off for parts of it. Make sure to give everyone a follow. Make sure to give Random Mania a follow, since they are being fabulous enough to host us here for today. Gameboy, you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure thing. As soon as I figure out who we want to raid.
Yeah, we're done with the races for tonight. Huh.
I know. It's like, who do we raid? Oh, I know who. Well, no, I don't. I've got nothing. You know what we're gonna do? I think we're just gonna raid Fadlo23. He's doing Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos Permadeath. It's a randomizer. It's Final Fantasy. Good enough.
Good enough. Well then, from everyone here at Random Mania, everyone in the booth, everyone from the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, I want to say thank you and good night. We will see you next time.